What's going on, guys? Brother Faris here, and today I want to talk about something that could truly be holding you back from sprinting your fastest, jumping your highest, and overall just having you performing your best. And that's having weak and underactive glutes. Now, the glutes play such a huge role when it comes to performance. They're responsible for explosive hip extension, which is seen in sprinting and jumping. They're also responsible for helping control movement in the hips, legs, pelvis, and the torso. From an athletic standpoint, when you have weak and underactive glutes, this will hinder your ability to effectively accelerate, decelerate, change directions, and explode. So before I work out, whether I'm doing sprints, plyometrics, whether I'm gonna go play some sport, or even upper body, I make sure that my glutes are activated and ready to go. I wanna make one thing very clear. Underactive glutes and weak glutes are not necessarily the same thing. You can have very strong glutes, but they might not activate so well when you're doing specific movements. A lot of people seem to think that the best way to train glutes are through multi-joint exercises such as squats, deadlifts, hip thrusts, and lunges, for example. Now, this isn't necessarily wrong, but it's not fully correct. And that's simply because if you have underactive glutes and you're doing a deadlift, for example, your body can overcompensate by using your back and hamstrings. And over time, those overworked muscles can get more susceptible to injury and pain, simply because your glutes were not activated properly. These exercises that I'm about to show you are going to isolate the glutes. Let's get right to it, guys. All right, guys, so the very first exercise I'm going to show you is a side bridge thrust. This is one that I do before every single workout, even upper body. I love this so much because it really isolates the glute and the hip, and after just a couple reps, you're already feeling it, okay? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna get into a side bridge position. So I'm gonna position my elbow inside of the shoulder, all right? So you don't want your elbow out like that, have it inside of the shoulder. I'm going to stack my legs on top of each other, and then from this position, I'm going to lift up one leg, all right, my top leg, and then I'm going to do a 4-part movement, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So it's up, extend to fully extend the hips, back, and then down. I typically go for about 10 reps, and I'm telling you, after even just 5, you're feeling it big time in the glute, especially as you're extending, and then as you're keeping that leg up, it really fires up the hip. And then of course, you want to do it on the opposite side as well. So just one set of 10 per side goes such a long way with this one. Absolutely love it. You're gonna feel it big time in your glutes. So try this one out if you haven't already. So the next exercise I'm gonna show you is the Zsit Press. I absolutely love this one, not only because it focuses big time on the hip and the glute, but also your core and torso get tons of activation as well. So you're gonna head on down to the floor and you're gonna get into a 90-90 position. So 90-degree angle at the knee with the front leg, and then 90-degree angle with the back leg as well. Now, from this position here, if you're somebody who has poor mobility, then you may actually notice that you're in a good stretch and that you can't really move too much from here. If that's the case, then you can actually keep your hands down and use your hands to guide you through the rest of the movement. And so what the movement is you're going to go from this position where you're seated on the floor, and then you're going to come up to an extension of the hip. Now my glutes are fired up big time, and this also is going to work on your hip mobility. You're going to come on down, and then you'll perform reps of that. Now, if you're a bit more advanced, you can even load this one up. So I have a 15-pound weight right here. You can even use a dumbbell, a small kettlebell. If you're kind of new to this and you're already struggling body weight, don't even load it up. You can do it body weight and you're still gonna see a crazy benefit. So from here, coming up, and then as I'm holding this weight is really where my core and torso work so much more. Glutes are on fire. I've literally only done like 3 reps, controlling it down. And then of course, you always want to do the other side as well. I go for about 10 reps and I'm feeling really good from this. This next movement is one of my favorite, and this is one that's really going to help transition into some more athletic style movements. This is called the running man, and I love this one for tons of different reasons. Obviously, the glute activation, but also it works on that stabilization, that unilateral strength, and some running mechanics, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start by standing on one leg. Now, if I'm standing on my left leg, then I'm gonna bring my right knee all the way up, and I'm going to have my opposite arm, opposite leg back, okay? So my left arm is up, my right knee is up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna envision if I had a crayon in between my toes on that right leg, I wanna shoot it directly back in a straight line. As I'm doing that, I'm switching my arms. I have a slight bend in the knee and the hip, and then I'm gonna come right back up. So this is really working on that stabilization, and it's really, really good for that unilateral strength. The amount of glute activation on both legs is incredible. The leg that I'm standing on is working, and then as I'm shooting back, that opposite leg, really straightening out the full leg, I feel a wonderful activation there too. And then of course you get to work on some of those mechanics. So great one. Obviously do both sides as well. And again, I do about 10 to 15 repetitions per side. Next exercise, we're also gonna be standing, and it's a great one as it will help to translate into some more athletic movements. This is called the standing fire hydrant. So what you're gonna need is a small loop band. You're gonna place that band over the knees. Then from here, you're just going to squat down on one leg. So I'm gonna have a slight bend in the knee and the hip. My other leg is gonna be up in the air, and I'm simply going to just abduct that leg away and bring it back to the body. So my leg that's planted is really working hard, the balance, the glute, the quads, and that leg that's moving, the glute is working, especially the glute med. And this is great if you play a sport where you have to move in many different directions. Of course, you want to do the other side as well. And why I love this is because of that unilateral strength. And I know a lot of people do this one while they're on the floor, but personally, I prefer this one standing simply due to the easier carryover into athletic movements, and it really focuses on that single-sided strength. Great activation exercise. Definitely add this one in too. All right, guys, so the final exercise I'm gonna show you, which is one of my all-time favorites to activate and strengthen the glutes from an athletic standpoint, is the isometric single leg banded sprinter hip flexor hold. Now, all you're gonna need is a band, okay, preferably a thicker band, and either a squat rack or a Smith machine or anywhere where you can actually attach the band. So I'm gonna get on up here, and I have the hooks just below my hips, okay? So about hip height or below is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and attach that band on both sides. And you wanna make sure that you have a little bit of space in front of you, okay? So I'm gonna walk into that band, and I'm actually gonna grab onto the sides of this Smith machine. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise the knee of one leg, and I'm going to thrust forward, and you can see that the heel comes up of my planted leg, and I'm just going to drive forward all the way on the ball of my feet, and this is really gonna light up my glutes on the left side. I'm trying to hold it for just 15 seconds, and if needed, you can use a thinner band, or for those of you with super strong glutes, go ahead and use a thicker band. And one tip about this is that you really wanna squeeze the glute of that leg that you're driving with and pull the toes of your flexed leg towards the shin. And this is really gonna make it much more effective. And again, I love this one so much because of its carryover into athletic movements, especially things like top speed, where your glutes need to work to cycle your legs while the other leg is flexed. And it's just such an athletic activation movement. When you do it, you're like, wow, I feel like after this, I can sprint like crazy, faster than Usain Bolt, jump higher than a kangaroo. So yeah, it's a great one. There you have it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, share it with everybody else you think can benefit. If you have any questions, comment in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my content. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna see you all soon.